It's the end of an era. And this is how they chose to end it?
Sometimes you want to believe people are something that they are not. By the time you realize who they are, it's too late.
Dark Phoenix takes place after the events of X-Men Apocalypse, and while the X-Men are on a space mission trying to rescue astronauts, Jean Grey absorbs a solar flare, and she starts to show off the Phoenix abilities, even though she had those abilities in X-Men Apocalypse. Alright guys, so let's get into Dark Phoenix. In terms of things I did like, there are some. Performances-wise, James McAvoy is still great as Charles Xavier. Michael Fassbender still gives a hell of a performance as Magneto. Also, Sophie Turner does very good as Jean Grey, along with Ty Sheridan as Cyclops, along with a couple of others. And there are a couple of action scenes that I thought were really well done. Before I go on, I want to tell you guys my history with the X-Men film franchise. Now, the first X-Men movie came out when I was 7 years old. I'm 26 now. And when that movie came out, to my knowledge and or memory, the first X-Men was the first comic book movie I had seen in theaters. My brother says it was probably Batman and Robin, but if so, I blocked out those memories, and for good reason probably. But when I saw the original X-Men in theaters, one of the first comic book movie images that I had in my head for the longest time, and it stays with me to this day, is the image of Wolverine on the top of the Statue of Liberty fighting Sabretooth. That was the first time that a movie or a comic book movie had stuck with me ever since, and I have loved the X-Men movies. I mean, sure, with some missteps like Last Stand and Origins Wolverine, I'm pretty certain that the X-Men movie started my love for comic book movies. But after Last Stand, which I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't hate Last Stand. I actually find it to be a lot better than people say. But when I found out that Simon Kinberg, who had written Days of Future Past, which is my favorite X-Men mainstream movie, when I found out that he was writing Dark Phoenix and he was going to take a second stab at the Phoenix comic book line, to which I'm a huge fan of. I mean, to be fair, I hadn't read the comic books as a kid, but the storyline was something that really interested me. So when I heard that he was doing a second stab, I got immediately excited. And then I saw those trailers coming out and I just thought, oh crap. But still, I had hope because, again, like I mentioned before, the X-Men movie franchise has been something that since I was a kid, I had grown up with. So as you guys can imagine, my disappointment and my sadness after I walked out of Dark Phoenix. A lot of people are saying this is fantastic for level bad. I won't go that far because at least in this film, there's things happening. There's actually good performances. The visual effects aren't always bad. Not saying that Dark Phoenix isn't, because this movie is a mess. But still, this movie is better than Fantastic Four. When I was walking out of this movie, I saw this in IMAX, by the way. When I was walking out, I almost started crying. This movie felt like that they tried to redo The Last Stand, but they did it worse. And I mean, so much worse. There are specific beats in this film that I feel like that mirror Last Stand. And the thing that angers me more when it comes to the script and the story itself is that Simon Kinberg, who had actually co-written Last Stand, believe it or not, but he had mentioned that when he was writing this film, he said that it would have killed him to have someone else direct it. I feel like that he only did more harm to the storyline. In the film, it's starting to build up Jean Grey using the Phoenix powers. However, I feel like they forgot that, in Apocalypse, did they forget that Jean Grey used the Phoenix power to destroy Apocalypse? I mean,
unleash your power! Let go, Jean! Jean, let go!
going to performances wise, like I said before, McAvoy, Fassbender, Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan, they're all very good. However, when it comes to Jennifer Lawrence, she's still a robot in these movies. It feels like that she doesn't want to be there. But easily the worst performance of this movie is Jessica Chastain. I mean, oh my god. Every time that she was on screen, I was bored shitless. Every time she was on screen. There were a couple of lines in this film that not only her, but just the dialogue in general, there is some dialogue in this film that I just thought, wow, they actually wrote this? Another thing that I hated about Dark Phoenix was the tone, or should I say tones, because throughout this film, this movie has just sudden jarring tonal shifts. Like, at one moment, it becomes this dark and depressing-ass movie, and then... and the second half of this movie becomes a fun movie all of a sudden. I just did not like its dark and depressing tone. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind a dark superhero film. I really do not. But when it comes to X-Men, I never saw the X-Men films as these dark and depressing films. But if there is one specific thing that I did not like about this thing at all, it was Charles Xavier's story arc in this film. I thought that James McAvoy did a great job acting in this movie, as always. But when it came to his actions in this movie, I just thought, oh, no wonder why Jean Grey's all pissed off. It's because of you! You asshole! The Professor X that I had watched in the previous X-Men films would not have done this. I just thought, yeah, you're kind of a dick in this movie. And when it comes to CG, this is what I will say. There are a few shots that look pretty good. But when you look at the wides in this film, oh... God, they look bad. They're not Orton's Wolverine bad, because Orton's Wolverine has some of the worst CG I've ever seen. But when you see some white shots, you notice how bad it looks. But the main thing about this movie is that when it came to the other X-Men films, specifically 1, 2, First Class, Days of Future Past, those specific films, they always left such a huge impact on me when I watched them. Where Dark Phoenix, I mean, even Apocalypse to a small extent, I was just like, okay, that was cool. Dark Phoenix just felt shallow. It never felt like it had a heart to it. It never did. So overall, and it really breaks my heart to say this, Dark Phoenix ends such an incredible film franchise on a very, very disappointing note that when I walked out of the theater, I just left depressed and heartbroken. I feel like that the X-Men franchise deserved such a better outing than this, especially when it comes to one of the more classic storylines in the X-Men universe. Now, I didn't absolutely hate this film, but I didn't like it, so all in all, I'm gonna give Dark Phoenix a 1.5 out of 5 stars. I wanted to give this movie a chance. I wanted to love it. I wanted to be the defender of this movie, but unfortunately, this movie just... I walked out heartbroken. I'm heartbroken. Alrighty guys, so comment down and let me know below. Have you guys seen Dark Phoenix? My apologies if this review is late, but let me know below. What did you guys think? Did you guys love it or did you hate it? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat and Stardust. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links to the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Dark Phoenix. If so, please hit that like button, check subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever a new video of mine goes live. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 reviews, please click either right there or there. And of course, until my next review, I'll see you all next time.